Welcome, everyone. This is Anna Runyon, founder and CEO of Classy Career Girl. And today I have a very important guest I'm excited to introduce you to. Today's guest is someone I have learned so much from, Stu McLaren. Many of you know Stu already. Many of you don't. If you don't, you're in for a real treat today. So thank you, Stu, for being here today.
Hey, listen, Anna, thank you for having me. I'm super grateful to be here and to be able to share with your audience.
Awesome. So what I want to dive into is for someone who does not have a membership and they want to start a membership site, because you are the expert in membership sites and we have a lot of people who are thinking of starting one. I wanted to know, what is the biggest roadblock you see and how would you tell someone to get past that?
Well, one of the biggest roadblocks is overcomplicating it, and overthinking it and over-engineering it and thinking that you have to have all these things in place before you launch a membership site. The reality of it is like, what does a membership site really do? It helps people make forward progress in some area of their life. So whatever area that you are helping them with, a membership is being on that journey with them, helping them make that progress. But where I see people trip themselves up is they think they've got to have all these things in place. They think they've got to have, as an example, they think they've got to have an audience of a certain size, or they think they've got to have all the text sorted out, or they think they've got to have like months and months worth of content, or they just get tripped up in their own head. And here's what I'm here to tell you is you don't need any of those things. In fact, like we have so many examples of people who didn't have audiences, like Wendy Batten, tiny audience, 460 people, launches her membership site to paint store retailers, like tiny niche and paint store retailers. She welcomes 59 members, generating $2,800 a month in month number one. This is from an audience of 460 people. Or there's Anna Saucier. I love her story because she kind of combines some of these. She didn't have a big audience. She had 326 people. She helps fertility practitioners. And she didn't have everything set up. In fact, she used our founding member launch where she basically went out to her audience and she said, look, she said, I'm thinking of creating a community for people like us to help. And she cast a vision for what that community would be like. She said, none of this is created. I don't have the membership. I don't have any of the content. Nothing is created. She didn't have like launch videos or webinars or anything. Didn't even have a sales letter. Didn't even have a checkout page on it. All she did was she said, look, if you are interested in joining me as a founding member, just send me a direct message. People sent her a direct message. She sent them a PayPal link. This is how streamlined, as simple it was. And in 24 hours, generated over $5,000 in revenue, creating a ton of momentum for her. I share it with you.
I knew Anna before you because she was part of my membership. And
that's amazing.
Watch her journey. And the part that I think is so amazing is she did it at Tribe Live with a baby, right? Like she got her baby, and for like, because I have a 9-month-old too, so I know how hard it is to like work and juggle a baby and everything too. So there's no excuses, right?
It's such a beautiful story, and the point of that of it is that like we get tripped up in our head so often and we overcomplicate things. And what I want to share with people is that like what's most important is you just keep it super simple. Keep it super simple and get going because, and I'm sure you can attest to this, Anna, is that like the reality of it is that you learn so much more when you are with your members, because what you think you're going to provide in your membership is going to change 3 months, 6 months, 12 months based on your members' needs. But if you're not in the trenches actually working with people, then you're wasting all this time. And so I just don't want to see people, underestimate what can be done in a year. And there's so many incredible stories of people in our tribe who have made massive progress, having a massive ripple effect. You are one of them. Like the impact that you're having is incredible and the ripple effects of that. And so where I see people getting tripped up is they overcomplicate things. They overthink things. They create these barriers that prevent them from getting going. And getting going is the most important thing.
Yeah. And one of the emails I've been getting a lot, because what we haven't mentioned is that you have a course called Tribe that is open through tomorrow. And I've been fielding a ton of questions about Tribe. And one of the biggest ones is, I don't have an audience online. Is this right for me, or should I wait another year? So what would you tell all those people that are emailing me? I'll just point them to this.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of Sarah Williams. Sarah Williams has a brick and mortar store, and she sells in her store. She sells like home decor and monogrammed items and things of that nature. And so, long story short, is she definitely wanted to incorporate recurring revenue because for her, like as anybody who's selling one-off products or has an offline business, when you don't have recurring revenue, you're always hoping that the clients and customers are going to come back. You're hoping that they're going to come back, or you're always searching for new customers. So it's like every month you're hitting the reset button and you're hoping that new people are going to come back, and you're trying to find new. And we don't want to leave our business to hope. With a membership, we know exactly how many people are going to come back and how many people will be spending with us. And so she wanted that certainty in her business. So she created a box subscription. This is a little bit different than a digital membership. This is a physical membership. She sends a box out to her members each and every month. But here's the cool part about this. In a 1-year period, she's grown this from 200 members to more than 900 members. In fact, she shared with me last night, she's now over 1,000 members in her membership. And here's the other side of this that's really important. About a third of her customers come into the store to pick up the box. Now, why is that important? Well, because when they're in the store, guess what they're much more likely going to do? Buy more stuff. And so Burger King just announced their membership. Burger King.
No way.
They announced, yes, 2 months ago in March, they announced the membership. $5 a month gets you unlimited coffee. Why would they do that? Well, the reason they're doing that is because it's like, yes, it's going to add a recurring revenue stream. Yes, it's going to be more predictable. And yes, it's going to be more stable. We all want that in our business. But for them, they know that that gives people a reason to come into the restaurant on a more consistent basis. And when they're coming into the restaurant, they're much more likely going to buy more food. Now, I don't know if we can call Burger King a restaurant, but the point of the matter is that it brings more people back in. And so if you've got an online business, an offline business, a physical product, a service, doesn't matter. Recurring revenue can be incorporated into it with a membership.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned the physical product because that's another question I was getting too. Someone has a physical planner that they sell, and she was wondering how that could turn into a membership as well. So give us some examples of the physical products.
Yeah, okay, so let's just take the planner. So a great example of that is a planner. It depends on the type of planner. If it's a 90-day planner as an example, well, guess what? Well, people are going to need one every quarter. So there's your subscription. It's kind of like built right in, and so that one's kind of an easy one. But let's think of some other product base. So the other day, this was 2 months ago, I was in San Francisco. Walking through the mall, and I go to get myself a green juice, and I come up to the counter, and I notice the menu has the member price and a non-member price. And I said to the girl behind the counter, I said, well, wait a minute, what is this member price? And she said, oh, we have a membership. I said, really? I said, tell me more. She's like, if you, for $10 a month, you get 2 green juices, and then every green juice thereafter is at the member price of $5 versus the non-member price of $6.50. I'm like, this is genius, because now they're taking a one-time transaction and they're turning it into a predictable recurring client or customer. And so every business can do this. Our car wash across the road, they set this up in a beautiful way. You can go through one time for $10, or you can pay $2 more, so $12, and go through an unlimited number of times during the month. And so when I got my subscription, I asked the girl behind the counter, they had 3,000 plus customers. A month later, my wife, Amy, she was like, listen, your car's looking great. You need to help me get my car as clean as that. So I went and got her a subscription. And in a month and a half after mine, they had increased it to 4,500 monthly paying customers. Time out for a second, because there's another car wash about 30 seconds down the road. It is never anywhere near as busy because they're always hoping people are going to come back. The one across the office here, they have lineups all the time because they know for certain people will be back each and every month. So Anna, this is about how do we think about taking a one-time transaction and turn it into a monthly recurring customer. And if we open our eyes, we'll start to see that all kinds of businesses are moving toward this. And I'd encourage people, even now, in the comments, list down what kinds of subscriptions do you belong to, whether it's Netflix or Spotify. Let us know in the comments. One of the ones that my wife and I belong to, when we bought our house that we're in now, we've been in it now for 4 years. We were in it for maybe a couple months. And Amy and I were laying there in bed, and then all of a sudden we heard the We're like, oh my goodness, like, what is that? And Amy, it's like 2 a.m. She wakes me up. She's like, Stu. And I'm like, what? She's like, there's mice. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, can we sort this out in the morning? She's like, no. And I'm like, babe, it's going to be fine. I'm like, they're in the walls. They're not going to get us. And she's like, come on. And so anyway, in the morning we woke up, and of course I called an exterminator, and the guy came and he set up all these traps. And he said, look, this will help take care of them, for now, but you live in a very wooded area. So if we don't keep this up, there's a very high probability that they'll be back. And I said, okay. He said, now we have this membership program where, you pay on a monthly basis, and we come back every single month to reset the traps. I'm like, perfect. I'm like, Amy's like, yes, please. Well, funny enough, like about a year after, our credit card expiry date, changed or whatever. So the membership lapsed. And we didn't realize it. And the mice came back, and Amy's like, get rid of them. So of course, it's like one of the first subscriptions that we belong to. But listen, if you look everywhere, you start to see more and more subscriptions, more and more businesses moving to this, because it is the future. It's the new way of doing business.
And Rebecca said Netflix, HBO, Amazon Prime,
all great examples. Yeah.
And so the possibilities are there, and I know I've been talking a lot about how much my life and business has changed with recurring revenue, but what can happen when you add that into your business?
Well, we can talk about a variety of different examples, and one of the things that I want to emphasize here is, for me, yes, it's about the money, but it's not about the money. It's about what the money makes possible. And that, means different things to different people. For some of us, it means like, we're able to, do things on a personal level with our personal family that we won't be able to do. Like I think of Tara Walsh. So Tara Walsh is a great story because, she was in a bit of a tough dilemma. Her husband had come home he's in the Army, and he suffered, pretty heavily with PTSD, and it was creating a lot of tension and conflict at home. And she knew she needed to get him help. Ultimately, what that meant was that, they would need to move into separate homes, as families, therefore doubling their expenses. And so that creates a lot of tension, because it's like, she wanted on one hand to make sure that she got her husband the help that he needed. But on the other hand, like that's going to create a tremendous amount of financial pressure for her and her family. Ultimately, she she launches a membership site, takes it from $2,000 a month to $13,000 a month to $30,000 a month. And here's the crazy part, Anna. It is in a market that I had to be educated about this. She helps lashpreneurs. And I'm like, lashpreneurs? She's like, women that help other women with eyelash extensions. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah. So I'm like, oh my, I get educated a lot with all these different markets. Yeah. So here we are, like $2,000 to $13,000 to $30,000 a month. Now, are her and her husband out of the woods yet? No. But at the same time, now she doesn't have that financial pressure on her as a family, and she can get him the help that he needs. It's not about the money. It's about what the money makes possible. Or, I can talk about Amanda and Jonathan Textera. They were at our Tribe Live event last year, and they got the phone call. And I remember getting this phone call, like when we were matched with our son, who we adopted from South Africa. That phone call that tells you you've been matched is like one of the most electrifying moments. And they got that at Tribe Live. Like Amanda got that at Tribe Live. But as soon as she got it, the fear and the anxiety set in, which was like in 8 weeks, they would need to come up with over $30,000 to be able to afford that adoption. And so that creates a lot of anxiety and fear. And so long story short, at the Tribe Live event, they shared it, and other tribers rallied around them. They strategized and came up with ideas. And 6 weeks later, they launched a membership site. It not only funded the adoption, they now have more than 300 members that continue to pay them each and every month. It's not about the money. It's about what the money makes possible.
Wow. I love that. So I know that there's a lot of tribers coming back. I'm one of them. This is my 4th time through Tribe. And so there's a lot of alumni that are watching, and in my groups as well. So I am going to ask you now, for the alumni, what is your advice to someone who already has a membership, who wants to take it to the next level? Someone like me, I've kind of, like I told you before we got on the call, like I had a baby this year and I'm ready to take it to the next level. Like, what would you say to all of us who are coming back again to Tribe?
I would say there's no better environment for you to be in, because I believe like all of us, when we have membership businesses, one of the things that we should do is we should have a season where we roll up our sleeves and we go deep in terms of taking a look at what we've got from that new lens, that new perspective of like, okay, how can I reimagine what it is that I'm producing? How can I reimagine the experience that I'm creating? How can I reimagine what I am producing to be able to take it to the next level? Because oftentimes we get into a rhythm and a rut that can keep us, stuck, when if we just open our eyes, we can start to see new ideas, new strategies, new trends that can enable us to take the membership to the next level. And so when you're immersed in this environment, it's inevitable that you're going to get ideas that are going to take it to the next level. I think of like Levi Kajula. So Levi had a membership site, doing really well. He was doing $30,000 a month. He had a guitar membership, but it had plateaued and it wasn't growing at the rate that he knew it could. Well, within Tribe, he heard one idea as it related to the marketing, and it had to do with specifically selling it through a webinar and how that was structured. So he latched onto that and he applied it. And the next month, and I wish I could pull up the screenshots so you could see it. But long story short, he went from 30,000 to 52,000 to 74,000 to over 100,000. In a 1-year period, he went from a membership that was earning mid $300,000 to $1.7 million. Now he has more than 6,000 members. Or I think of like Gabby Bernstein, who had a membership and had plateaued at 1,100 members. Again, same thing for her. It was just a shift in the way that she was marketing her membership. The very next promotion, she added 4,100 new members, Anna. And so it took the membership from 1,100 to 5,200 members. It's kind of crazy. Or I think of like Matt Tomey. So Matt Tomey, another Tribe alum who had an existing membership, had 600 members. But one of the things that he was challenged with was his retention. So as fast as he was getting members in, he was losing them. So he had a retention rate of about 66%. So after coming through Tribe, he increased the number of members from 600 to more than 900. But most importantly, he also plugged that hole. And so his retention is now in the high 90s. And so he's making a lot more revenue in his business. Or think of like Amy Flaherty, same thing, where she had an existing membership, but her retention was really suffered. In the 1 year after Tribe, doubled the number of members and improved the membership, therefore increasing the profitability significantly. Bottom line is like there's no better environment for somebody who's got a membership site to be in, because all it takes is one idea, one strategy that can make a massive difference and pay for itself many, many times over.
And for me, just hearing all these stories like inspires me and lets me see what is possible too. So if you are serious about changing your life and your business and turning your passion into this recurring revenue like we've been talking about, join Tribe. Take it with me. I'm taking it again with a small group of people. I have a bonus experience for you if you want to take it with me. And you can learn more about that at www.classycareerville.com/Tribe bonus. Any last words, Stu?
Well, listen, Anna, your name is on one of those. Yeah, your name is on one of the blue stickies because that's all of our alumni that are coming back. And all the others, the pink, the yellow, the orange that are all around there are all new people joining us for the Tribe 2019 Tribe experience. And let me just say this. Tribe works. I have been helping membership site owners for over 11 years, helping literally tens of thousands of membership site owners in all kinds of different markets. Tribe works, and we obsess over helping you get results. Come join us. We'll show you how to get the results in your business. We'll show you how to add the recurring revenue. Whether you don't have an idea yet and you need help formulating that, or you don't have an audience and you need help growing, because you don't need a big audience. Remember, just a few hundred is all it takes. Or you have an established audience and now you want to monetize that and be able to build a business around that. Or you have an existing membership and now you want to take it to the next level. Come and join us. There's no better place for you to be. And we do this one time a year. This is it.
This is it. I'm excited. You pumped me up. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stu.
Well, thanks, Anna. I appreciate you. And thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the course.
Thank you.